Welcome back. Over the past 1 year, the Indian beauty and personal care market has expanded at a rapid pace. A young population, consumers seeking higher quality products, adopting beauty and self-care routines, entry of domestic and global players have all fueled this fire. And as we wrap the year, in a special chat, we are catching up with Sathpathy, CEO ITC Personal Care, and speaking to him about the key highlights that shaped their business. How are they adding D2C to their cart, their premiumization strategy, and what are the investments moving forward, and what is the kind of growth in personal care and beauty segment that ITC is targeting for next year? Listen in. Samir, welcome to CNBC-TV18.
Thank you, Shivani. Great to be back.
Let's begin this conversation speaking about the year gone by. What were the key highlights of the year for ITC Personal Care?
When we started the year not many people knew what AI was, but today it seems to be that every kid seems to know what to do with AI. And we had been working on an AI tool for Dermafeed, which we had launched a couple of years back. So that's really scaled up. So that's really doing well for us, because one of the big problems which we have with women is that they sometimes don't choose the right products. And because they don't choose the right products, then they don't tend to buy your brand again because they say, hey, it doesn't work. So how do you analyze the skin on your cell phone and get recommendations as to what you should be doing, both in terms of not only the product, but also what other things you should be taking care of your skin? I think that's something which is interesting.
Yeah, so AI is one.
I think after a long time, we have had one normal year. I think that's a highlight.
Yeah.
That wherein you had to do the old-fashioned things of advertising, distribution, innovation, product introductions, and so on and so forth to build your business, which is what we always did. And it was good to do the old. It's like coming home and eating dal chawal. It's important to do that because that gives you, because that's what we needed. We needed this normal year.
Yeah.
So I think that's in that sense it was good. Third was when you look at inflation. Inflation actually beginning of the year was high, but fortunately it's eased off. We've also passed on those benefits to consumers, and that will always be positive. The other end is premiumization. With the advent of e-commerce and digital, I think we will see rapid development and innovation in this area.
Yeah.
You saw the first signs.
What is the kind of work and what is the kind of strategy that you've done over the past 1 year when it comes to especially premiumization?
Premiumization, I think all our brands have a premium leg to it. So we are looking at the price points are usually 2, 3, 4x, but also the value which we give to the consumers. So if you look at Engage is moving from deos to EDPs, which is a perfume, and at maybe a 500 rupees price point from 150, 180 kind of price point. So you're moving consumers up. So from soaps, we are moving people up to shower gels. We're moving people up to hand washes. Floor cleaners are concerned, we have an all natural in Nemail. So moving it up from the phenyls to something which is natural, good for your kids, because consumers wanted access. So that access itself creates demand.
What percentage of your portfolio today, Samir, will you call premium?
2 years back, that number was 26%. It's moved up to 37%. So it's been a massive shift.
Yeah.
And we are seeing it across. And our brands which have done this well are growing very well.
Overall, in the past 1 year, we have seen how the beauty and personal care space also in the country has expanded with so many new entrants. So how do you look at this whole equation now?
See, it's a good time to be, I think, to be a brand manager. Why do I say that is that today you have the license and you have the tools to really innovate and really build your brand, right? And competition is also, competition is always good, because all of us, when we had done we had done eco in school or something, and the first thing they said is perfect competition. Your price line, the efficiency in the system comes in. So I think it makes us more efficient. It makes us sharper. It makes us better. It also forces us at times to move faster than what we would have done.
So it makes you nimble.
Absolutely. I mean, there's no choice. If you're not nimble, you're dead, right?
Yeah.
So if you're still around and you see us around, you say, hey, they must be faster than what they were last year.
But at the same time, do you feel established FMCG players have an advantage over the startups?
Every organization, and some of these companies cannot be called startups anymore, right? So these are more insurgent kind of brands which did things which are a little different, which built niches and now are trying to scale up. So they have their own challenges. Established companies already have their businesses, so they are trying to defend their core and still build the new, right? So at ITC, what we have done is something a little different. What we have done is we have created, especially for the digital space, we have created 3-4 brands which are more premium to have a D2C presence, which means innovation on D2C, it means presence on D2C. In the same way, we have also invested in a couple of D2C companies. Now, what that has created is a great ecosystem for us, because what we are doing is, we can, in ITC, we believe that learning is a two-way process. So they lean on us for certain things which we do better, and we lean on them for things which they do better. Also, our talent is exposed to that ecosystem, and their talent is exposed to ours. So we also have our people going and sitting in those offices and working from there, because you learn and you pick up new things. One is it's not about that there is a formula, that this is the formula they know and this is the formula we don't. It's a way of working. It's a way of looking at things. It's a way of being frugal or being fast, being smart. And these are things which environments teaches you. So this ecosystem really helps us, and I would like to thank both our startups, which is Milo and Mother Splash, for helping us to do that. And we hope, whatever they need from us, because there are certain things we do extremely well. They lean on us, and wherever they need help, they borrow from us. So I think it's great partnership.
Yeah, you mentioned investing in certain brands and getting them to D2C, and then investing in D2C companies, and any more acquisitions in the pipeline that we expect from ITC Personal Care going forward?
So if you look at us as a company, we will always look for value accretive innovation, acquisitions, and this is something which we have done very systemically over the years. The last acquisition was Yoga Bar, which was I think 4-5 months back. So at any point of time, we will always be talking to someone. We'll be looking at something. But it's a bit like marriage. It has to work for both people, right? So, and it has to be done in a manner that we feel that in our hands the business becomes much more valuable than what we pay for it. So it may be a good business, but it may just be that we can't grow it if we can't add value to it. Then there's no point acquiring it. So that, I think, is a bit of a dance. And unless you have to go through the hoops for it.
Yeah. What are your learnings from D2C? What works over there? What strategies work as a leader? What do you think?
One is, I think these are compact teams with high motivation who are trying to make a difference in their own lives. So a lot of them are coming from personal experiences, trying to solve for a certain problem, or are passionate about a certain area, so therefore they are really put their mind and soul into it. The second is, I think, their reliance on, because they don't have, they're building from nowhere. So their reliance on technology, their way of tapping into that and maximizing it to its full potential is fantastic. Third is, I think they tend to be not to be caught up with a lot of processes which larger companies might be using, because for them taking that decision quickly and taking it fast is a question of survival, which I think is great and really takes them to that 100-200 crore mark. The question which comes after that is that what do you do now? Because when you grow, it's like I'll use an analogy of biology. So when you're a single cell organism, you don't need an exoskeleton, you don't need an inner skeleton. You can do things, but as you become, from a single cell organism, you become a more complex organism. You need to have specialization. You need to have, from a journalist, you need specialization. You need different things. So it becomes a very different animal altogether. So it would be, I think, interesting, and I would want to see that when you become 2,000 crores, do you still have the same ethos? No, it'll be very difficult.
Yeah.
Right. But at 150, you can
change as you grow.
You have to change. You have to grow up. So it's interesting, but there's a lot of positive energy. There's a lot of things. So the question is, how do we tap into that, and what is that we can learn? Because there are a lot of things we can still learn. Right. Some things you have forgotten which you used to do. So these are things which is an ongoing process. So sometimes learning can be cyclical, and this is something which is great to see.
Yes. Moving forward, Sameer, what are the things that excite you as a leader of ITC Personal Care?
So when I look forward, I think there are some interesting challenges which are there, and I look at different aspects of our businesses. So media is a big aspect of our business today. But top-end consumers are slowly going away from mainstream media. Slowly but surely, they are consuming so much else. The closed loop systems, where say advertising is not there. Even mass consumers, we are seeing are, a lot of people spend a lot of time watching reels. Now, at a level, it is, you can say, it's like a, it's almost like an impulse that you look at your phone and start looking at it. But the fact is that they're spending their time there. What that does as a marketer is that now how do I engage my consumer? What is my creative idea? What do I tell my agency? And how do we look at this new age pieces and still be able to reinforce our core and build new ones? So that's an interesting challenge to have. The second is when you look at channels. Now, previously, you used to have retailers and wholesalers. Today, you have retail, you have modern trade, which was there. Now, you had e-com. Now, e-com also, people are saying that, there is old e-com and there is not so old e-com. The not so old e-com is quick commerce.
Yeah, quick commerce.
So today, when you think in the morning, your bhai calls you from the kitchen and says, "Ki chai khatam ho gayi hai." So nobody panics. Everybody says, let's just order it in.
Let's just call it will reach in 15 minutes.
15 minutes, it's fine.
Yeah.
Right. You start boiling the water, the tea, tea. So we've got used to that, and that convenience is very easy to get hooked on to.
Yeah.
Right. So there is a channel piece which is changing. And the way people consume goods, because the channel piece is also changing. The availability which is there, the kind of things which are happening were not, so each of the channels is I think also reframing its own strategies as to what they can do and what they can do. So the channel itself is changing. Third is, I think consumers today are exposed to so much, and so you really need to do standout work, both at at a communication level to be remembered. And last, I think the thing which is very important and is completely also something which is up our strength area is, I think, the product is back. Because in the absence of anything else, you have to have fantastic products, because consumers then, that is the moment of truth, and they say, hey, this is great, I must come back. Because unlike, because you can do a lot of jazz, but in the end, that's where the reality hits, as the rubber hits the road.
Yeah.
So and also the cost of acquisition has become so high. So it's actually almost stupid not to invest in your product.
Great. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Shiva.
And now it's time for this week's notice board. Aditya Birla Fashion and Retail's brand Van Heusen, which has been synonymous with workwear for young professionals, has now broadened its product portfolio to cater to the wedding season. And with this launch, they have also unveiled a new campaign with which the brand marks its entry into the premium wedding suits and blazers space. Van Heusen Weddings campaign stays true to the brand's promise of fashion meets innovation and brings to life the sophistication of modern premium weddings. Let's take a look.
Van Heusen Weddings.
With that, it's a wrap on Storyboard this week. You can catch all of our content on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. Thanks for watching. We will be back same time next week. See you soon.